If you've been feeling exhausted, stressed, and stuck in a nurse leadership role that demands endless sacrifices, and you've been considering transitioning to nurse consulting, today I'm showing you the nurse consulting basics and 90-day guide to a nurse career change. Before we dig in, hit subscribe. I've used the same strategies I'm sharing with you today to go from stuck and stressed nurse manager to nurse consultant within a few weeks. First off, what is a nurse consultant and what do they do? A nurse consultant is a nurse who uses their clinical, administrative, leadership, operational expertise in order to solve relevant problems. They work in areas such as acute care, post acute, long term care, sports medicine, pharmaceutical, manufacturing companies, as well as in architecture. The examples and the places in which they work are endless. Nurse consultants identify clinical risks, reduce gaps in clinical care, improve operational efficiency and effectiveness. They improve profitability of a healthcare facility. They reduce wastage. And where there are hostile work environments, they come in to help facilitate a harmonious working environment. So, why do you need to consider nurse consulting? It introduces a whole new level of autonomy and what you are responsible for. Many nurses are experiencing burnout and job dissatisfaction because they lack clarity and autonomy over their roles. Well, as a nurse consultant, you get to have full control over the results that you want to attain, over the service providers you work with, and the problems that you solve. You have flexibility and full control over your work schedule because you can negotiate with workplace or healthcare providers in regards to the hours that you work. You are paid more because you're paid for the value that you bring instead of the hours that you work. It helps you escape the day-to-day stress of workplace drama and politics. Lastly, and most importantly, nurse consulting gives you a sense of purpose. Once again, you can fall in love with nursing by doing work that particularly excites you and doing work where you feel as if you're making a difference and you're contributing to the betterment of the nursing profession. However, there are some common myths and mistakes that I want you to avoid. But before I dig into that, if you want to transition into nurse consulting and you don't know where to start, book a free consultation with me. My calendar is in the comments and description below. Myth number one, fancy technology. You don't need to have fancy technology or even know so much about fancy technology in order for you to get started. Remember that as a nurse consultant, you're not learning a whole new skill set. No, you're simply utilizing the expertise that you already have. Myth number two, extra certification. You do not need to get an extra certification in order for you to become a nurse consultant. In fact, the term consultant itself does not have a legal grounding or basis. Lastly, social media. You don't need to be posting on LinkedIn or other social media sites in order for you to get going with your first few clients. In fact, I've never used social media when it came to securing my healthcare provider clients. And I think going onto LinkedIn and social media will just delay the process of you doing meaningful and impactful work with healthcare providers. Now that we have the basics out of the way, what nurse consulting services will you offer? Here's a 4-step process to use. First of all, your personality. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are you in alignment with? And when you look at your personality and the work that you're doing already, is there an alignment or relationship? If you take a closer look, maybe now you've fallen out of alignment and you hate your current job and you're seeking to transition because you're no longer doing work that suits your current strengths and your weaknesses. You want to follow the path of least resistance by doing work that you feel excited and passionate about. If you don't know what your personality type is, use the Neris Type Explorer test. I always recommend the Neris Type Explorer test because it's highly accurate and partly free. Now, looking look at your past nursing experience and come up with 3 to 4 services that you have provided in the past. What problem were you solving when you felt most aligned and most connected to the work that you were doing? I want you to first think about the problems that was occurring, and then second, think about the solution that you implemented, and then write down the outcome that you achieved from the work that you did. From those 3 to 4 services, you will come up with some nurse consulting offers that you're willing to provide and problems that you're willing to solve with healthcare providers. Please do concentrate on work that you want to continue doing. If you hate leadership and staff development, then don't try and offer that service to healthcare providers, because over time you will start hating your nurse consulting business. So focus on your strengths and the things that you're most excited about. What are the top 10 problems in your specific nursing area? These are very easy to identify. It's usually what bothers healthcare providers the most. It's typically in the news. The locals are talking about it. It's on LinkedIn news. There's so many sources that will point you towards this problem. So list out those problems from your own knowledge. Think about the things that used to give you a headache, or the problems that give you the most headache right now. They're usually the biggest within your particular healthcare area. And then go on Google and look up the news area of Google, LinkedIn news, like I said. Listen. What are people locally saying about healthcare providers? Listen to staff members as well, and list out those 10 biggest problems. Why are you listing out problems? Because as a nurse consultant, your role is to solve problems. If you want to build a profitable nurse consulting business, then you want to be the one who is there to solve specific problems for healthcare providers. Find the intersection between the three. Find the intersection between your personality, your nursing experience, and your specific nursing area problems, and then validate. This is such an important step. It's one thing to come up with amazing services that you want to offer providers. It's another thing for there to be an actual demand. How do you validate? By speaking to healthcare providers and asking them the problems that they are facing and really listening to them. Be a scientist of your nurse consulting business. Be willing to be wrong. Be willing to learn new things. Come at it with a beginner's mindset. Don't just go at providers bombarding them with solutions. People don't want that. They want to know that you truly care, you've truly listened, and this is how you will uncover specific problems that are within your nursing area. And you might even find that some of these problems you never even knew they existed, or the wording that they use is different from the wording that you will use. Now that you've decided what nursing services to offer, the next step is addressing your money mindset and charging for your services. Most nurses under earn and they struggle with this area because nursing is such a compassionate profession. It has taught nurses to say things like, money doesn't matter, I don't care about money, I'm just doing it to help people. But unfortunately, it has also created a workforce of nurses who are approaching retirement and they don't have any financial security or investments in place because they never cared about the money or paid attention to the money. Really think about your limiting beliefs when it comes to money. Maybe it comes from a place of you not feeling worthy of receiving money, or not feeling as if your services are valuable enough for you to be paid. However, in order for you to build a nurse consulting business that is profitable, then you need to know that it's okay for you to receive money. Money is a good thing. It's an exchange of values. And you're also going to learn, like in my business experience, I've seen that people who pay more pay attention, and the clients who pay more are better clients. Clients who come in negotiating and paying scraps, usually those clients will give me problems in the long run. So for you, avoid that headache of, being the lowest hanging fruit, the one charging as little as possible, and charge what you're worth. So you can charge on a retainer basis for the work that you do, or you can charge as a contract for the services or the projects that you're offering over a specific and agreed time frame. It can even be hourly and ongoing. I found that for me, because I have formed long-term relationships with healthcare providers, hourly has really worked out well. So for you, think about out what works best for you, and however much you earn, it has to be more than what you earned in your full-time traditional permanent job. Lastly, and most importantly, secure your first client. The fastest way to land a client is in person. That's why I discourage aspiring nurse consultants from starting on social media and LinkedIn, because it delays the process of you landing your first client. How do you land your first client? By creating an informed proposal using the validated information that you gained from speaking to healthcare providers in the last step. Use their language, the problems that they're facing in creating these proposals, and make appointments with different healthcare providers. Do not be discouraged if you hear no's. It's the nature of the game, and that is what business is about. Get excited actually when you hear no's, and accelerate your rate of hearing no's, because the more you get a no, the quicker you get to a yes. And as you engage with healthcare providers and secure, I recommend in-person interviews, but if you cannot meet with them in person, then make it a Zoom interview where you've got your video on, they've got their video on at an agreed time. Listen to those the information they're giving you even during the interviews. And even if they end up saying no, who knows? Maintain communication and interaction with them, and over time that no will become a yes. Your goal is to build lasting relationships, and once you start working as a nurse consultant, make sure that you're giving all your best and you're doing a quality job. Let your reputation precede you, because it makes it easier for you in the long run to build a profitable legacy consulting business. And if you're sitting there thinking, how do I put all this into practice? I need some help. Then I'd love to speak with you. Book a free consultation with me. My calendar is in the comments and description below, and we'll see if you are a good fit for us to work together inside the Nurse Consultant Blueprint community, which is a community of other amazing nurse leaders who are and have transitioned into nurse consulting, and they're building their nurse consulting businesses. So do book a call, and we'll see if you're a good fit. Hit subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear this today. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.